Hey everyone, welcome to yet another video from Grassroots Education. In this video, you're going to learn about questions that came on the 7th of May 2022, and this was for the academic test. So we're going to discuss the writing questions now. So as usual, let's get started with the task 1 question first. Now this particular graph was taken from IELTSexpress.com, and the question that came on the exam day was a bar chart that depicted dollars spent per person on boys' clothes, girls', men's clothes, and women's clothes in three different years: 1985, 95, and 2005. Now, there was also another question that was asked in some centers, which was a line chart, and this showed monthly temperatures in three cities: Paris, Dubai, and Sydney. And this was throughout the year. Now, what you're supposed to do in your academic task 1 is to make comparisons as much as possible and try to group data and put them and separate them in logical body paragraphs. So let's start with this answer and understand how your overview and your body paragraph split is going to be. Now, since this data is all in the ascending order, you might want to say that boys and girls' clothes had the least amount of spending, whereas men's and women's clothes had a higher amount of spending. And you can also say that boys and girls' clothes had almost an equal amount of spending, whereas that was not the case with the elder people category. These are 2 points that you can include in your overview, and also your body paragraph split can be based on age. Boys and girls in one paragraph, men's and women's in another body paragraph. Now there again, your sentence sequencing is important. So you need to see which data is similar here, which data is contrasting here. Now in this case, you can actually put the blue and the green one, which is 85 and 95, in one sentence because they all had nearly the same amount of dollar spending. But remember, you cannot say nearly, you'll have to mention specific numbers here. In this case, it looks like it's close to 100 or 110. Same thing with the yellow category, which is 2005. You will add that in a separate sentence and also include the nearest possible number. Now, with your men's and women's spending, you need to see which ones had similar spending, which ones had contrasting amount of spending. So you can actually put the blue and the yellow ones together because they had similar kind of spending, and then the red one can also be written in the next sentence. So I gave this arrangement based on the study that I did of the graph. If you have your own ideas, you can put them in the comments and I will go through them. Moving ahead to the next line graph, we had a line graph in a few centers in the morning slot, and these were monthly average temperatures. So clearly, Paris and Dubai have the same trend throughout the year, whereas Sydney has a contrasting trend. And you can also say that the months of May to September saw the highest amount of temperatures in Paris and Dubai, whereas it saw the least amount of temperatures in Sydney. Your body paragraph split will also be based on the similarities, Paris and Dubai in one and Sydney in the other. Now, because this is a line graph, your intermediate values, as in these are your extreme, January and December are your extreme, but the intermediate values can be limited. So you have to include key data points like this. March is a key data point because these two cities have crossing. Similarly, May to June here is a key data point. Here also again is a key data point, and then here. So you can say, you can also pick up the highest and the lowest temperatures. In this case, July, June in the case of Paris, and August in the case of Dubai. So you can do this in your body paragraphs after you have written the overview paragraph. All right. So I hope you understood how body paragraphs should be split in task 1, and you can also take a look at other questions to understand how body paragraph split should happen. Let's now move ahead and understand how you should structure task 2 answers. This time, both task 2 questions had the same pattern. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Now, the first question says that housing shortage in big cities can cause severe social consequences. Some people think only government can solve this problem. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Now, the question says that the only thing that can solve housing shortage problem is the government. So you are supposed to either agree to this or disagree to this. So when you agree that only government can solve this problem, you may want to think that government can make it affordable by creating a lot of schemes for different income groups, or you can also agree by saying that government can replace certain buildings to make sure housing is available to all citizens. So these are two ideas for you to agree to this. Now, when you say you disagree that government can solve this problem, you can say that big corporations or real estate developers can pitch in and try and redevelop new areas so that there is more housing for people to live, or just rearrange or redevelop certain properties so that more houses and more people can be accommodated. So real estate developers can pitch in. And you can also say another idea that housing shortage in big cities is a problem because of job opportunities in big cities. People move to the big cities because of job opportunities. So if this is addressed in the rural areas, you are giving them jobs, and hence the whole housing problem comes down. So that's another idea as to how, again, big corporations can pitch in and create these job opportunities in slightly lesser developed areas so that the pressure on big cities and the government reduces. All right. So these are your ideas to either agree or disagree. Now you can write a mixture of the two answers as well. You can agree to a certain portion of the question and not agree to a certain portion of the question. But remember, in your introduction and your conclusion, that has to be clear. All right. Now let's move ahead and understand the idea development for this question. This came in the evening slot of the 7th of May. Animals are in danger of extinction. Some people say that we should protect only those animals that are important to humans. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Now, in this case, you might again want to either agree or disagree. So it's easier to disagree because you feel that certain animals are important to the biodiversity, to maintain the biodiversity of the country. So that's why you should not allow animals to go extinct. And another way you can say that animals should be protected is because of basic rights to live in a certain ecosystem. So just like how humans have the right to live, animals also have the right to live in the ecosystem and develop habitats and repopulate. So you can include these two ideas to disagree. But if you feel that you want to agree to this and you feel that you should protect only animals that are important to humans, then you can talk about the angle of having pets, or you can talk about the angle of having animals as food to humans. So anything that's that gives rise to meat, basically. So you can write these two reasons and say, give examples of animals that can function as pets or animals that can function as food. But I feel that it's easier to disagree to this idea because animals being food is not limited to a certain class. So any kind of animal is literally food to humans, right? So you think about it, you think about how you want to, kind of defend your idea, and think about how you want to elaborate it. But make sure you pick one line of thought here. All right. So that brings us to the end of idea generation for actualized questions for the 7th of May. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I'll see you guys in another lesson with another set of questions next week. Until then, you keep practicing, make sure you're following me, and also if you want to take part in my advanced programs, you can fill up the admissions form that's there in the video description. All right. Bye-bye. Have a good day.